and welcome to Escape with Google Apps. Hi, my name is Miko Wagstaff, and I am an Education Technology Specialist with Kennesaw State University in the iTeach department. Connect with me on Twitter at Miko Wagstaff, and you can also see some of the resources that I share on my website at bit.ly/makeitplain. I'm a proud Google for Education certified trainer and innovator and certified educator level 1 and 2. As I mentioned before, I work with Kennesaw State University, iTeach, and we are transforming teaching and learning with future-ready experiences. We offer a variety of services of which you can partake in. You can get more information about our services at our website at iteach.kennesaw.edu. I would also like to invite you to join us on Twitter at KSU iTeach. We have monthly Twitter chats on a variety of EdTech topics, and we'd love for you to join in on the conversation. In this video, I will show or share what I've learned about Breakout EDU, the physical and digital games, talk about the hybrid escape games that I've used over the years, digital escape with Google Apps, and then I will share some resources with you. So let's get started. Breakout EDU is an online platform that has curriculum-aligned escape room-like games. I've been using Breakout EDU for about 3 years now, and I love it, and I just grow each year that I am using it. With Breakout EDU, they do have physical and digital games on the platform that you can access that have already been curated for you. The digital games or there are games that will identify as you're needing a kit to use that game, and then again the others are just completely digital games, so you can be paperless. If you do need a kit, they do sell it on the website for $150, and that comes with a year subscription to access their platform. If you already have a kit but just need access to the platform, then that's $75 a year. So I would like to share my experience, things that I've learned along the way using Breakout EDU. So I do own my own physical kit, and I have access to more if I wanted to, if I needed them. So I've played games where each group has a box like within their space, and I will tell you it was very difficult to manage. I ran into a lot of problems with students not really engaging in the game, but just playing with the locks and sometimes kind of messing them up by accidentally resetting them. In particular, the letter and shapes locks are very sensitive, and the students do end up having trouble with them sometimes. And again, if they accidentally resets it, then that's time that I have to take away to get that reset. So here's some pictures of, when I've played having the physical boxes with different classes. After experiencing what I did with just having the box at each group and just the difficulties, I decided to just kind of switch it up a bit. And so I tried just having one box. And when I did that, I noticed that the groups focus more on the clues and not the box itself, because it was no longer at their table. It was at, say, like a teacher table, and all the groups had to share that one box. And so that did make it an easier process, because now instead of having 6 boxes to set locks to, now I only have one. And what I did was I created these clue recording sheets, a breakout try a lock ticket so that all the students weren't at the box at one time. They had to give me a ticket in order to go to the box to be able to see if their code works, which makes them think about, oh, I need to make sure that this is the right code, that I'm not just guessing. And so that was something that made it a lot easier. And then with the box, you get one key. So since I was only using one box, I just made extra keys and hid those in the room. And then once the students found those, they would come to me with their little paper key, and then I would give them the physical key, and then they would use that to unlock the key lock on the box. So this is my current setup when I am doing a completely physical game. There are times, however, when I like using the digital Breakout EDU games and just go completely wireless. So I use this either use their curriculum aligned games, or I just go ahead and create my own clues in Google Slides and then upload that into my digital games. And so when I do that, again, it's completely digital. All the clues are within the Breakout EDU game. What I do like about that is that all of the locks are on there, the color locks, the directional locks, the shape locks, and it's just easier to set a digital lock because once I set it, it's done. It automatically resets itself. So I found using the digital locks on the Breakout EDU site to be very helpful and make the process go easier. Now, my favorite is actually doing what I call a hybrid escape game. And this is just taking the best of both types. So I blend the physical and the digital game together. So almost all of the clues are printed on paper, and all of the locks are digital, except the last digital clue that I give them in the game, which would lead to the big box, which I would typically have like a 3 or 4 digit lock on. Now, that last part is actually optional, so you could just have all of the locks digital and then all of the clues on paper. I also use a small lockbox that I like to, or a small toolbox that I like to hide clues in, and then I just buy a keyed lock for each toolbox, and then I can hide those keys around the room. So kind of simulating what I would do if I had multiple Breakout EDU boxes. And again, I only have to have one lock on the big breakout box, and I usually try to use an easier lock, which is the 3 or 4 digit lock. So this is what I do when I want to use paper, but I want the locks to be easy. All right, so now let's talk about the digital escape room games. So here is my example for a digital escape room that I've created for kind of PD purposes so that you can kind of see what would it look like? How does it work? So you can go ahead and navigate in a different tab, or just write down this address so that you can play the game and see how it works. So bit.ly/digital escape room PD. Now it is case sensitive, so make sure that you capitalize the D, E, R, and then the PD. So now let's talk about making it your own. So when you are making your own completely from Google Apps, you do want to start by creating a captivating, mysterious scenario or story. So this is what helps get your students like really engaged in the game. You want to determine the codes for your digital locks after you've created and started thinking about the different clues, what types of digital locks you would like to use, whether it's a text, number, color, or a shape lock. You want to create or find challenging clues, puzzles, decoders, and questions that your students can solve to be successful in their escape. You want to, really switch it up and make them challenging, but not too challenging that the students will give up. And then you can also create escape certificates to email automatically to students as they escape. Now, that part is completely optional, but I will share with you how that process works. All right, so let's start with Google Forms. We're using Google Forms as our digital locks. So you want to open Google Forms and name that form. What makes the digital locks is when you add the response validation. So this is the conditional formatting for the locks. So you can specify exactly what it would take to unlock that particular lock. So whether it's a word, it would be that specific word, either in all caps or all lowercase. And then you need to decide what type of locks do you want to have. So again, there's a variety of locks that you can use. Numbers and words work well. With directional, you can't necessarily type in arrows, but you can say U for up, R for right, for example. You do want to collect the students' names and email addresses if you're going to be sending them certificates. If not, you may not want to collect that information. And then, very important, you want to make sure that you set the share setting to public, so that way when they access the Google Forms, it's actually open and not, set to a private setting where then they can't access the Google Form. Next is Google Drawings. So Google Drawings is one way of connecting all of your digital clues into one place. So you want to start by opening Google Drawings. You want to name the drawing. You want to add an image or images that will be like your background, that are connected to the clues. And then you're going to add a shape over the area of the picture that you want to be linked to your clue. You're going to change that shape to be a transparent shape. So you would go to the fill or paint bucket and make that transparent, and then the border or pencil color, you also want to set that to transparent. So when you're looking at it, you can't see it. You would actually have to hover over that shape to know that it's actually something there and is a hyperlink to one of your clues. And so you would link all those shapes to the hints or activities or clues in your game. And again, you want to set the setting to public so that when the students open it up on and access it, they can actually see the information and not get an error saying that they don't have permission to view or access it. Okay, now Google Sites is the home of your digital escape game. So in Google Drive, you're going to want to open up Google Sites and then name that site. Add a header and a title with an image that relate to your escape game. You're going to type in your scenario or story and then add some pictures to match the theme of that story so that students can really start to connect and kind of get engrossed in the theme of the story. And so that the students can access this digital escape room, you're going to want to create a short URL or add a link in Google Classroom, for example, so that the students can easily get to your escape room. Once you've created the Google site, you're going to want to insert the Google form that you created. So you're going to do that in the right side of the interface, along with inserting the Google Drawings from Google Drive. And again, that is the background of all of your clues kind of being in one place. You can add a YouTube timer if you would like. It is optional. You don't have to have that. I do find that sometimes having a timer kind of adds more to the expense of the game and just making it more fun because they know, oh, I need to break out within a certain amount of time. And then if you like, you can add additional pages. And again, that's completely optional. But just know that if you are adding additional pages and you navigate from the page that has the Google form, it will reset when you navigate back to that page. So I typically just like to have everything on one page. And if I did like another page, maybe it's some additional information or like an extended activity. If you are wanting to create certificates at the end for the students that escape to be automatically emailed to them, then you want to use Google Slides for that. So you will open up Google Slides and name that slides for the name of the certificates, add a congratulations header and message, and then input tags to label from the name collection in Google Forms. So for example, you want to add the brackets and then first name and last name if you collected that information in your Google Forms. And then you want to also identify at what time did they escape. So you want to add another tag for the timestamp. And then just add any images that will help with that theme and, as a congratulations to the students to make it look like a real nice certificate. And again, if you are using certificates, you will need to access Google Sheets. So you would create a Google Sheets spreadsheet from the Google Forms that you were getting the responses for that you created earlier that's embedded in your digital escape game. You would get and open AutoCrat under the add-ons tab. So you will need the AutoCrat add-ons to make sending out the certificates automatic. You would choose the Google Slides certificate template that hopefully you will have already created, and then AutoCrat will pull the data from the tags that you put inside of the certificate in your template. You would set the file settings with a naming convention. For example, first and last name escape certificate, and then the type as a PDF multiple output. So these are just the settings that you would need to select as you're setting up the AutoCrat. You're going to choose the destination folder for the certificates so that they can all be generated into one Google Drive folder. And then set the merge conditions to email address equals not null. So as soon as the Google form gets an email address, then it's going to trigger that a certificate be generated and then automatically emailed to that email address. You're going to share the docs as a PDF so that it can't be changed, and set up an email message. So something like, congratulations, your certificate is attached below, something like that. And then add AutoCrat job trigger to run on the form. So every time a new form is submitted, then a new certificate is generated and issued out to the students when they break out. And that was a lot. So if you need to go back and go through those steps, that is quite all right. I had to do it a couple times to kind of get familiar and comfortable with that process. All right, so lastly, with the link that I shared before, which is the bit.ly/digital escape room PD, on the at the top, I have shared under the resource tab all of these things that you can access to help you in creating your own digital escape room. So there is a copy of this presentation, some examples of digital escape games from a variety of subjects, some helpful videos such as creating the hyperlinks, setting up AutoCrack to automatically send out certificates. There are some resources and links to some clue and puzzles. So, like if you want to use like Snodes or encoders, I have like all of the resources that I've used and found in one place. If you want to learn more about how awesome and great digital escape room games can be in classrooms, I've also added some article links for you to be able to access. And then lastly, there's a form if you have questions or need some feedback when you're trying to create your own digital escape room games. So thank you for listening to this presentation, and I hope that the information that I shared was very helpful. Again, connect with me on Twitter at Miko Wagstaff, and we can engage in conversation there. I do share resources on my website, and you can reach out to me and contact me either on Twitter or through the website. So again, thank you for attending. Adios.